Hi all, this is Night Elite, and today I wanted to show off a transit system that I designed for a multiplayer game that I was playing with my wife and son, and I thought it was interesting. It's probably been invented by somebody else before, but I came up with it without having seen it anywhere else. At least I don't think so. So the way it works is that there are a bunch of stations, and you just get in them and they take you to the next one in a circuit, and the train that's waiting at the next one automatically leaves. It waits at each station for 2 seconds, and then you can move on. And if we zoom out and watch, we can see that all the other trains move around. So how does this work? Well, this is the blueprint. You can see there's a station. It is set up with send signal to train. That signal goes on this green wire and is attached to this circuit, or this rail signal, which is set for read signal. You don't need to make any other changes. The train schedule itself for each station is set up to say leave when passenger is present, and there's been 2 seconds of inactivity as well, or if green is not equal to 0. So there's some upsides to this system compared to some other ones I've seen, which is that there's always a train waiting. So you just get on and it takes you where you need to go. Or it takes you to the next stop in the rotation automatically, which may or may not be where you need to go. You can still send it somewhere else manually via setting a temporary station. But the nice part is that there's always a train waiting at all of the transit stations, so you don't have to wait for it. The drawback, though, is that it takes you in the loop by default without taking you to anywhere specific. But the upside is, if that's what you want to do, you don't have to ever click on anything, so it's pretty easy. So how do you set one of these up? Well, we pull the blueprint and put it down, and we'll throw some fuel in the train, and then so that's the default station. We'll rename it here. So that's the first thing you would rename this station. So we'll call it Demo 4. And then we can get rid of this one, and we have to add in each of the stations. So the easiest thing is to find a train that's already got the schedule you want, add in the new station into the schedule, and since you still can't copy paste schedules, you have to just change the station name. You have to do this manually, which is one of the annoyances of this system. And then set it up like this. Once you have that, copy paste this schedule onto each of the other trains that is in the setup, and you're good to go. We can now get on this train, and it will take us around the loop. So one of the upsides of this system is that you don't need to run circuit wire around your whole base to make it work. Some other ones I've seen are pretty cool, but use a system with circuit wire and trains that get called to where you are when you stand on a gate or something like that. So this one doesn't need that, so you can add it afterwards if you haven't set up the network of circuit wires all over the base. So that's an upside. The downside, though, of course, is that you do have to paste the schedule onto every train in the circuit if you add to the schedule. I'd recommend building kind of like a hub and spoke system where you have a bunch of these routes that go out from a central spot. And here it is where I used it in my real base. So you can see it. We've got this pretty long north-south track. So this one has several stops along the way. It stops here at the mall. The mall has a northbound and southbound station. And then it takes us down to a mine at the bottom of the map. Right here. And then back up to the mall on the other side, and then up to the original starter base. And you need to provide fuel at just one of these stations, because every time a train moves on any of them, then they all cycle forward at least one station. So so they'll get their chance to get fueled each time when that happens. So it's pretty convenient that way. You don't need to fuel at every one of these stops. Anyway, that's that. So hopefully this will be useful to some of you. Thanks for watching.